Hey everyone, welcome to another episode on the channel. Today I'm pretty excited to bring to you guys a very cool NFT project who is also launched by a good friend of mine, Pavan. The project is Oni Squad. They've been blowing up on Twitter even before launching. So yeah, I'm really excited to share with you guys Oni Squad. All the links I'll plop into the description below so you guys can check that out. But otherwise, yeah, let's get started. Pavan, could you tell me a little bit about yourself, and also maybe everyone on the team could also give an intro on themselves, how you guys got to building Oni Squad, and then yeah.
Yeah, totally. Thanks, Stephen. So just for everyone out there, Stephen and I, we taught a class at UC Berkeley on web development. Had a lot of fun doing that with him. Learned a lot from Stephen, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, essentially in late August this year, I was talking to my friend Jason right here, right on this call, and we were talking about building a blockchain game. And that was late August. And then mid-September, we figured out exactly what we wanted to do, and we made key hires. We made a hire with Andre. He's our art director, and we decided to do an NFT drop and then build a game around it. So our NFT drop is called Oni Squad. Oni is like ghost demon in Japanese. And we're building a game that we'll go into in a little bit for the people of Onis. And yeah, and so Jason joined, and we got Andre. Andre has like 400,000 upvotes on Reddit, so he's got quite the following on Reddit. So we made a full-time hire with him. We also have like a Web3 engineer. His name's Eduardo Borsa, and he's incredible. He taught himself Solidity in like 7 days. Super smart guy. Comes from Elixir and Erlang, and those languages are really hard. We also have like another artist. His name is Nicholas Silva. So he used to work with Andre at his art studio, and so Andre was able to bring him in. Eduardo, our Web3 engineer, grew up with Andre. And so Eduardo actually brought Andre in into the company. And I was on like game development Discords and just going through the Discords, hanging out with people, talking to people. And I met Jonathan Petrosky. He's our game engineer. So he has an open source RPG framework that he made and he was working on. And that's how I was able to discover him. And he's incredible. He's incredible. So since we like started working on this in mid-September, we're almost done with our game, and we're basically done with our NFT drop. So we did all of this in like a month. It's been ridiculously fast. Sorry, I've been taking up all that speaking. Jason, do you want to go?
Yeah, I'll just go really quick just about my background. I basically have spent the past 10 years or so, 10 years plus in gaming in some sort of capacity. I started out my career in investment banking, working with a lot of game companies, then went from there to working at Warner Brothers in corporate development. Learned a lot there. They're really known for their film and TV production, but they actually have a huge games operations too. And then from there, I kind of did my own startup, learned a lot about growth. And then from there, I actually went to work at a company called Omelette Arcade, which is one of the largest mobile game live streaming platforms in the world. They got funding from Tencent, NetEase, Plus. And a funny story is actually met Pavan right before I joined Omelette Arcade at a Neo DevCon conference about 3 or 4 years ago. But before I actually joined Omelette, there was another company that I actually was interviewing with and I got an offer for. And that company turned out to be OpenSea. I would have been literally the 4th or 5th person to be hired there. So, been interested in NFTs for a long time and love gaming. So excited to, work with Pavan and Andre and the rest of the team.
Yeah. I guess I'm Andre, I'm the art director. I've been doing illustration work for 13 years now. I started real early. It's been my full-time job all this time. I've been a freelancer all this time. I worked with a lot of big companies like HSBC and Pearson, and I won a few awards from Threadless and Naughty Dog. So it's been a nice ride, and it's been the first time in 13 years that I'm employed actually, not doing freelance by Pavan to work on this project. And a couple years ago, I started publishing my stuff on Reddit, and it started blew up. So it's been a hell of a ride, and it caught the team's attention too. So I'm glad to be on this project. It's been really cool.
Awesome. Yeah, everyone's seems to be really experienced in the space already, and that's really great. I guess would you guys be able to talk more about like when certain aspects of the game or the NFTs are launching, and then when you kind of are planning on doing the minting process? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So we're actually going to, I'll speak to that. So we're actually going to be doing our, I guess, public mint on the 29th. So literally from today, it'll be in 8 days. We decided to do it on the 29th because although the 31st is Halloween, the whole ghost demon aspect of it, right? We anticipate there's going to be a gas war on Halloween. So we wanted to make sure we did it a little bit earlier. So that's going to be when the public mint is going to be. So definitely, check it out, and it'll be on our website. It'll be a custom mint process, so it won't be on OpenSea or anything. And then separately, our game is going to launch sometime around mid-November or so. So shortly after, and that game, will be basically essentially it'll be a design your own Oni mansion, design your own house game, and there'll be a lot of social missions that people will be able to go on. We think it's gonna be really fun and just bring in a lot of people together into the community. And we're designing it so that you have to kind of interact and chat with other people within the Discord, inside the game, on Discord, on Twitter. So we think it'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of new things that we'll be introducing that we think are pretty new and novel to the Web3 space. So, we can definitely talk about more about that, but that's kind of the high level overview.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love how you guys are not just doing the NFTs, but also laying on a game component to it as well. I think there's been a lot of interesting projects that have done that well, like Axie and Star Atlas. Yeah, I guess I was kind of curious why you guys decided on Oni and the Ghost and the whole kind of game and NFT experience.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, so I can speak to that. Yeah, so we were thinking about what to build, right, and how to enter this space. And the most creativity we thought was around like Halloween, because you have costumes, and so you can essentially put skins for any number of holidays. So we were thinking like we could enter in as ghosts, and yeah, that's basically why we thought about Onis. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
we're all big fans of we're all big fans of anime and manga, Japanese culture. So we wanted to incorporate some of that stuff mixed with the spooky vibe of the ghosts. So we went with Onis. So a lot of assets for the NFTs, for the NFT drops itself, a lot of attributes are Japanese themed. There are samurai swords, ninja suits, and stuff like that. And on the game, we're gonna have the house with a bunch of Japanese-inspired ghosts and monsters like yokais and the nine-tailed fox and the kappa and the tango. We're having a lot of fun drawing all that actually. So that's basically why, I guess, we wanted a nice mix of stuff that we love with some spooky stuff.
Yeah, just to add to that, Steven, I mean, also crypto, right? There's so many anon accounts with the anime profile pictures. So we just got to speak to the culture, man, at the end of the day. And we love it too, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of anime themes in the whole crypto space. I guess, what are sort of some of the things that specific animes or games that inspired Oni, or like that you guys just enjoy playing that you kind of like added to the experience? Yeah.
But for me, Yu Yu Hakusho is probably the biggest influence on the Oni artwork because of the whole ghost vibe from that anime. It's a ghost detective, and we're getting a lot of inspiration from that. From games, well, I'm a big fan of Japanese RPGs, so we got a lot of weapons and stuff like that on the artwork too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, as for me, I mean, Oh, sorry, I just want
No,
to jump
go
in
ahead.
real quick.
Yeah,
I yeah, I love Demon Slayer. It's one of my favorite animes, one of the newer ones too. And of course, that's all about Onis, and they actually say that word a lot in the anime. So I think that's really cool. And then just for gaming wise, just love the Riot games, right? Like League of Legends and Valorant. I guess League of Legends actually does have a lot of Japanese inspired characters as well too. If you play it, there's a bunch of those as well.
Yeah, and our entire team watches a ton of anime. So Eduardo, he's not here right now, but he watches One Piece religiously, and I think with his brother every week. And so I'm a big fan of One Punch Man. Just love that anime. Watched it so many times. Also, in terms of games, like I love Valorant. Just a huge fan of Valorant. Smaller games too, like Killer Queen Black. That's a small indie multiplayer game that I play a lot with friends. Cool game. Yeah, we just love anime, all of us.
awesome. Yeah, I can definitely see a lot of inspiration in the art. I guess kind of going into the gameplay aspects, like I remember you said you were gonna start with the house theme kind of on the game. Could you like kind of describe more about like how people might play it, the game, and then also how you guys might hook it up to a chain and what layer you're going to be using? Yeah.
Sure, I'll speak to that, and then it'd be great if Andre, you could show some art. So yeah, so we were sticking with Ethereum for the Oni drop, right? 6,666. Japanese themed ghosts or demons on the Ethereum blockchain. So that's layer one. So this is a style of art that you'll see. And that's happening in about a week. And on the 29th at 2 p.m. Pacific. And so the game though is on layer two. It's on Matic. And so you build your own haunted house on the Matic blockchain. And so you get like you get a mansion, and then you go on these missions where you have to go trick or treat at different houses, and you get tokens for trick or treating. The house that you visit, they also get tokens, and then these tokens can be used in a shop to upgrade your house. And so this shop right here, you get to spend ERC20 tokens, and you upgrade your NFT, and it's a gaming event. So it's a 3-week gaming event. At the end, whatever house you end up with becomes your NFT. And then we're going to export it for the users in a banner that they could put onto their Twitter. Yeah, and what's really cool is, we really care about the onboarding process. So we're making it really simple for users to play the game. So although the game is on Polygon and the drop, the NFT drop is on Ethereum, we're making it so you don't spend any gas, or you don't have to bridge your layer one NFT to layer two. So all the user has to do is switch networks and play the game. So the way we're pulling that off is we're taking a snapshot of all the owners on layer one on Ethereum. We're preloading them into our smart contract. And then those people will be able to play without having to bridge. And then we're airdropping Matic to everyone, to all the people that have an Oni. And so those people will just be able to play without having to buy Matic at all. And then at the very end, we take one more snapshot of layer one, and those people will be able to retrieve their Oni. I mean, their houses, their mansions. And so that's essentially the game. We're also going to be having composability. So we're bringing in another NFT project into our game. It's not ours, it's someone else's. And we're going to let them play our game, go on missions, earn ERC20 tokens, and purchase something special, right? It's not going to be a mansion, but it's going to be something special. So we'll leave that up to a surprise. You could follow us on Twitter to kind of like learn about that. We're also doing giveaways on our Twitter. So just giving away free Oni and stuff. But yeah, we're really excited because people will just be able to play the game without having to spend anything. That's what we're really excited about. Yeah, and Andre, do you want to talk a little bit about the art behind the game?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I wanted to show you guys the basic Oni. Here's the basic Oni. The artwork, I mean, we really got a lot of inspiration from Japanese artwork too. I personally got a lot of inspiration from old Japanese manga like Astro Boy from Osamu Tezuka. So we got this vintage cartoon style that we chose to go with that pairs up with the Japanese and spooky theme without being full-on anime. We wanted to have some personality of our own. So we went with some vintage style instead of a more modern cartoon. So here are our Onis. Here's the basic Oni, the base for every single one. And we made a bunch of sets for each Oni that we can go. We went crazy with this. We have from demons to samurai to some wizards, and we went on and on and on. And on the process, we thought like, oh man, how are they gonna look when we mix everything up? I was nervous as the art director. I mean, I tried to make everything look good, the color palette to fit. We got a limited color palette to use, and then when I started mixing, it worked. So I wanted to show you some of the randomized Onis with random attributes. We have rarities, so we get like an Oni with a headset and a basketball jersey and a samurai sword. And honestly, I think they look super fun and pretty unique. So you won't really see like two Onis that, oh, they're just ghosts. No, they're some crazy stuff. So we had a lot of fun with this. We went with the logo. We tried to bring some more of the Japanese style for the logo. We got a little blue flame goat here that represents like souls in Japanese media, like on manga and anime. When someone dies, like there's usually a blue flame. So we went really hard with the blue flame theme too. And for the ghosts, we got this for the mansion. Sorry, the Oni mansion. We wanted to get a haunted house, so we could go crazy with like tentacles and spider monsters and stuff like that. And we got these vibrant colors on the main aspects, so we could cut some attention. And we tried to make the whole background more spooky, more tame. So whatever you buy on the shop, in the shop, it really pops on your house. So we really want people who finish the event feeling like they really got a unique NFT that they make and they're proud of that. So that's the whole art experience we went through.
Yeah, and another aspect I forgot to mention is that when you go haunt someone to their house, you get tokens, they get tokens, but also you get to leave a message for their house, for their mansion. And, you know, since it's like a short event, it's almost like a little social network, right? Like where you get a limited number of posts. So you get like 3 posts a day, essentially, right? Because you're limited to haunt, I think, 3 people per day based on the number of missions. So since it's a 21-day event, you get like 63 posts in total, each person for their entire lifetime. So that's a really cool aspect that we like. We're just trying to make it fun and interactive and social.
Yeah,
there'll also be some Easter.
Oh no, go ahead, Jason.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I just want to say real quick, there also will be some secret Easter eggs littered throughout the games that people will have to discover on their own that may impact their own house or other things as well too. So people have to discover that on their own.
Awesome. Yeah, I love how you guys are launching near Halloween time, and the theme is very on point. It's very cool. I don't think I've seen many other NFT drops that's very like themed like this before, which is very cool. Yeah, I guess one thing I wanted to bring up again is just Oni Squad, as I can see here, is launching on October 29th at 2 p.m. PST. If you go to their website, you can also see the launch time and also a countdown. And yeah, so I guess sort of like going off of Oni, I guess, what do you guys see in the whole NFT space, or how are you guys going to continue Oni after this kind of process of the launch and things like that?
Yeah, sure. So I can answer that quickly here. So I think, so this is going to be a 3-week event, starting from basically around the mid-November timeframe. So that'll take us basically around December or so, right at the conclusion of the event. We're already thinking about what sort of next games we'll be doing after. Of course, they will all leverage, or the Oni, I guess, assets will definitely be in play for whatever games that we're going to have. I mean, I think you can think of it as definitely a way, almost like a membership, right, to play in other games. But I think for the next ones, we'll definitely want to expand that out much more. In some ways, we actually think about this event as a way to learn just about how our users and community will want to interact and to figure out how they're going to engage with the game, build those community bonds, right? But then definitely after that, we want to expand it much further and make it a lot more accessible for other people to play, maybe even people who are not crypto native as well too. And some of the games that we're thinking about, I think for us as a company, we kind of plan to be more like the Zynga approach versus the Riot approach, right? Like one game that we've really focused on forever. Zynga, is more known for more casual social experiences and a little bit lighter casual experiences, right, to play. So that will allow us to develop games faster, which is something that we're really proud of, as you can kind of tell since we shipped this out so quickly, or shipping this out so quickly. And yeah, so we're looking at kind of like, because canvassing the different landscape. I come from a mobile games background, know a lot of different game titles that have worked well. So we're looking at that space, also looking at what's working in play to earn as well. And we're just basically kind of looking at the different worlds and just seeing where do we think we can improve on experience, and also is like really fun for people as well too. So that's kind of like how we're thinking about it as a company and for what's coming next.
Yeah, and to add to that, something fun we're doing is we're working with like 3 composers and a music engineer, and they are creating all these different tunes and programmatically combining them together in random ways to generate unique music for every Oni. And that's coming out for all the Oni owners in December. So every Oni will have their own musical NFT, for free, as like a thank you for buying an Oni and supporting us and playing our game. So it'll be a nice Christmas gift for all our Oni. Yeah.
That's really awesome. Yeah, I haven't seen that many NFTs that also come with the music component. It's usually either or. So it's really interesting that you guys are combining those two together. Yeah, I think you guys are really like innovating on the whole NFT space. So yeah, I think we're kind of coming down to the end of our interview here now. Yeah, so just kind of wanted to wrap up. Check out the Oni website, and also they're launching on October 29th. And yeah, I guess Pavan or Jason, Andre, do you guys have any final words or things that you guys want to let everyone else know to check out?
Yeah, sure. I really think the NFT space is going to keep blowing up because NFT profile pictures are a way for people to express their wealth, like flex their wealth online. Traditionally, you can only do that by taking a picture, I guess, of your boat or your car, right? And so, but anyone can take a picture, get a fake picture of a car or anything. But with an NFT picture, and especially with Twitter profile picture verification coming out, when you see an expensive NFT profile picture, you're going to be impressed by this person. And I think that's like a big part of the social human component. And so I think I think NFT profile pictures are going to continue ramping up and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And yeah, so also with play to earn, you could almost think of it as liquidity mining with DeFi. I was actually liquidity mining with Compound. They were the first ones to kind of do that and introduce that. So I got to, and it's funny, I just did that by accident. I was just lending out on Compound for fun, just to check it out. And then all of a sudden I just kept getting these comp tokens and I'm like, oh, cool. I got some free tokens and it's actually worth a lot. This is nuts. So play to earn's like very similar, but it's based off of like a different type of person. You know, and yeah, so I'm really bullish about this industry. I'm really excited. It's fun. And that's what I see next.
Yeah, I think just to add to that, you know, just at a high level, right? Just when you add gaming, when you just look at gaming, just been a gamer my entire life, you know, there's always been that kind of behavior already where people were already trying to play to earn in some aspects, right? Like people playing Diablo 2 or World of Warcraft, you know, the top 10%, maybe 5% of those players were, you know, trying to sell those tokens. I was one of the, you know, one of those players trying to sell their items or tokens, you know, on eBay, you know, back in those days, right? So it's not like the behavior is that much different, but I think what Web3 and blockchain unlocks is that it's a lot much easier. It's a lot easier to do that. It's a lot more liquid in terms of the markets. And of course, you can do a lot more interesting things with composability, staking, and just designing the incentives are just much more interesting. I think at the end of the day, if I'm a gamer, you know, why wouldn't I, you know, rather just play a game that allowed me to have property rights on whatever I bought, you know, versus any other game, right? And I think what's interesting too is that when you're a game company, right, you know, I think that game companies, of course, are currently, you know, I talk to a lot of game companies right now too, and they're all very interested in NFTs, but they're all very cautious because they have business models that work really well. But I think, you know, just like free to play turned out to be the dominant model, and that was a very innovative thing at the time, and people were like, oh, how does this work? How do you make money if it's going to be for free? I think people will start to see that, you know, actually when you let players own their the economies are owned by the players, there's actually potentially, you know, to make a lot more money, and it's just like it just can expand the universe and just make people a lot more, make the game a lot more fun too as well. So I think I'm just really excited and super bullish. I think this is where the trend will go for all of gaming actually over the next decade, and that's why we're working together and starting, you know, want to be on the forefront of this trend.
Awesome. Yeah, it's really great to hear from you guys. I think you guys are really like innovating on the entire NFT space with a lot of really cool features. So I'm gonna leave all the links in the description, as I said earlier. And yeah, I guess that kind of wraps up our talk.